Hi guys, welcome back to another Learn With Me video. I have actually been dreading this and I've been pushing it away, and that's why it's kind of late. It was supposed to be posted in August, but now in July, and now it's August. And I'm finally sitting down to film it, and I've been trying to figure out how to film it because it's such a big subject. But I think I figured out that the only thing I can do is really show what it is, because a lot of people are asking what it is. So I think that would be the best thing to do. To learn this method properly, you kind of have to go through the stages and through like a whole kind of course. I do recommend you pick up this book if you're interested in learning it more. It's How to Draw by Scott Robertson. He's pretty much the one who set the kind of is really good at it. And the way he teaches is that method, the draw through method. And when I went to FCD, I'm pretty sure Feng Shui used this as kind of a base for that class. So I recommend this. I will put this in the description. I will remember to do this because it's in the beginning of the video and I'll mention it. But yeah, if you want to properly learn what I'm going to show you today, please go pick up this book because it's very good. So pretty much the draw through method is just a way of learning perspective and how to draw things in perspective without actually making a perspective grid. I think, well, that's my understanding of it anyway, and the way it's helped me is to be able to draw objects without drawing perspective lines. I remember once upon a time before I went to FCD, it was when I was drawing cars or like anything like that, I had to try and do it properly, and it was just all wonky and didn't work. But the way that this kind of method took me through how to draw objects in perspective, it just really helped me. So I'm gonna try and show you guys how to do this today. I'll show the stages that they taught us at FCD, and then I'll show you what I can do with these two pictures, and how it would work. So the first thing I think we were learning was to draw boxes in perspective. This is kind of taken up from like my memory. I can't really remember exactly how we started, but I'm pretty sure what you started with doing was actually doing proper perspective. So to do this, you need to know perspective. Perspective is pretty much you have 2 points and you have lines going from that point, lines going up from that point. And what we had to do was freehanding, not like you're not allowed to use a ruler for this. You had to create boxes. You still have to like find where the perspective line would be, but you didn't have to draw, you just had to draw a lot of boxes in this way. Like see-through boxes as well, so you needed to have like stuff like that. And you would draw this on paper, freehand, and you need to do 10, you need to deliver 10 of your best ones. And it was your best ones, so I think I probably did like 50 A3 pages and only gave in 10 of them because those were the best ones. I don't know if that was in the draw-through method or if that was just one other class, but I remember that was very important to kind of get the eye-hand coordination to draw perspective and perspective lines. God, I feel really weird about teaching things, so you guys have to know that the Draw With Me videos are just unofficial me trying to teach you or like tell you how I do things. It's not meant as a proper tutorial, but maybe it helps you in some way. That's what I hope it does. And then I think why is that so big? There we go. Jesus Christ. Then we moved on to boxes and how to put like, you had lines going here and you would put one big box in the middle like this. This is just an involvement of the boxes, but you would split this up. You will learn how to do this properly in perspective. I don't remember how I properly do this, but it needed to be split properly. And then you would figure out maybe a curve here, straight here, down here, that way, and then halfway down this one. And that would be a way to find the shape in 3D space. And then find the other vanishing point. It's a bit tall right now, but then you make a box at the front, which we should do. Well, this is pretty much what I'm gonna show you what I did today. This is all freehand, by the way. This is why I'm just gonna say again, please go pick up that book, because that's gonna take you through all those what's it called? All those steps to get to the point that you want to be at. There's also cars, so I feel like the draw through method is I feel like it's mostly used for people who draw a lot of vehicles and designs like that freehand, like without doing 3D models or anything. It's just being able to think in 3D space. But for me, even though I don't draw like sci-fi vehicles and stuff, I still have a lot of use for it, especially if I do rooms and stuff. I don't need to draw the perspective lines everywhere. I can just kind of guess where it's going, and to me it makes it look a lot more organic, which is what I want. I don't want it to look stiff and like a box, you know? So this is just where you would start anyway. Gosh, I think before you even got to this point, let's just make this box like this. And yeah, it's a whole thing. I don't even know how to do this anymore. This is just a way to figure out where all the lines would go. Anyway, this is really hard to show, but this is pretty much how I'm going to show how I'm going to do the tractor and the dragonfly. So I guess we'll just jump into that. Before you even did this, you would like make a grid sideways. This is called orthographics or something. See, I shouldn't teach anything. Yeah, go away. Alright. There will be more sounds, but apparently from the sound of the last video, people actually enjoy having sounds in the background. What I was saying, and there will be also sounds, what I was saying is that you would start with making a front and a back, well, front and the sides, so you knew where things would go, so it would be like that. And then you would do the whole 3D thing. Anyway, please pick up the book if you want to learn this, because I am not equipped to show you and teach you how to do this properly. The only thing I can do is really show you what it is and what you can expect to learn and what you can expect to kind of... why it's a good idea to do it. That's what I'm trying to say here. So we did a lot of these exercises for, like, I think the whole term 1 was just a lot of perspective, if I can remember correctly, and studying and learning. And it really, really helped me for the rest of, like, the course. Or was it 4 months? It might have been 4 months, actually. Just cars everywhere. And, yeah, it was hard work. You had to do a lot of these for a class every week. There was like 2 different classes. One with Fang, which was drawing things and objects, and then another one with a drawing perspective and drawing things in perspective. It was a whole thing. Anyway, it was very good. I think that was probably the best part of that whole course. But if you have the time if you have the self-discipline, it's called, to go through that book and learn, do that. Also, something I didn't know, the garden guy is back. Also, something I didn't know is that the book actually have an app, so that you have that on your phone or your iPad, and if you hover that over the pages, it will actually show a video of him drawing and showing you how to do it. So it's probably a pricey book, I haven't checked, but it's very worth it. Anyway, let's actually do this tractor. I remember the first time we did, was it? Yeah, when we did cars, that was the first time we were allowed to do it digitally. Before that, it was all traditionally, and it was hell. But you can do this on paper. I'm doing it in Krita, but just because it's easier to film and you can kind of see a lot more. You can see my hand moving, and you can see everything instead of, you know, top-down camera angle. So let's just start with the tractor. So something they really pushed on us was to not look at the picture, like don't use the picture exactly for drawing. Like you look at it, you analyze it. Like you can see there's a square here. This is a long rectangle. If you want to be more complicated, there's another rectangle in here, and then this is kind of a cylinder rectangle. Then you have the square, the circles. You have another circle here. And you have a box, and you have a connection here. And then, like, you would build up the different shapes and then take it from there, and you could draw within those shapes to create that certain object or whatever. So let's just color this a different color so that you can actually see what I just did. There you go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend I haven't done this in so long. This is actually a very bright idea, but I am going to try and make this work. So I have a lot of these gloves, so I'm switching around. Sometimes they get sweaty. Let's just start. So I wouldn't use the perspective that this picture is having. Like I won't take that exactly. I will just analyze it and put the boxes into 3D space, and that's pretty much how the draw through method work. You would just start with the line. But this is the point, this is where you would get to at some point. This is not where you would be at the beginning. And then you can decide how much of the front you want to show. I want to show about that much. And I think I kind of recommend trying to do this freehand and not actually... You could do it with... I think it's just really good to practice straight lines. If you need to, I guess you can do this. But I would recommend not doing a perspective grid, because that could wonk it out. Anyway, you need to start from the beginning, and I'm so sorry I can't teach that. The only thing I can show is how I do it, and then you can decide if you want to learn it or not. It's just a harder subject. I'm not very good at that either, so... Maybe we should do proper... I haven't done this in so long. I'm not going to use these too much, but I need them there. And I think it's about... This one's going to use a straight line-ish. Ish. That's not what I wanted. Actually... We are going to use my straight lines, but I'm not going to use this perspective grid. I'm just going to do this. Need to... So after we've done like boxy tractors and stuff, we actually moved on to doing bugs and then animals. So bugs is a bit more mechanical, and that's why that was better to do. Just trying to figure out how I'm doing this. I don't think I'll have that at all, actually. I'm just going to hide that. That's just confusing me. Anyway, I'm going to do this is going to be my middle point. So from here, I'm actually just going to freehand it and kind of figure out where my box is. And I'm going to do that. So you would learn how to split a box and how to get it even. And there's lots of different ways to make it exact and not as kind of random as I'm doing it. I'm actually going to move that box further down. But at least you get to see me draw a thing. I haven't done this so long, it feels really weird. I'm not following the perspective lines exactly. When you're doing this, when you're really good, you would most likely do it more properly than I would, than I am right now. I'm just more of an organic person, so that's why perspective in the first place was really scary to me. It was just like, I don't know how to do this. Why are you making me do this? My dad always wanted me to just draw like things, Dina. Like, don't stop drawing animals and people. I'm like, no, I don't need to learn anything else. And that was a big thing. But when I went to FCD and they kind of started me off really easy with the boxes and just start like this and start like this, it kind of built up my confidence, I think. And that's really good for someone who's afraid of doing doing stuff like this. I can't exactly see what's going on with this. This machine, but I'm kind of guessing. This is a curve here, which is a bit tricky, but I'm trying to get it right. Trying as best as I can. The bug's gonna be more fun because that's more my style. You can do different layers. You can have this in a different layer than your actual like perspective lines and stuff like that. But you know, I'm edgy, so I'm just joking. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just trying to focus. But this is the joy of our tutorials, is me having no idea what we're doing, pretty much. Okay, so that was the first sort of box. There's different boxes in here. There's that long box that I showed you guys, and this here, and then I'm gonna have another one here, and I know where my perspective lines is, so I can kind of guess where I want things to go. And all these cables I would just freehand, because who have time to do that? And then there's a circle here. Circles are another thing that are very hard to do in perspective, but when you've done the exercises from the book, it will really help you out. I'm so sorry, I feel like I'm just selling that book, but I feel like the question mostly have been, what is it? What exactly is the draw-through method? So that's sort of what I'm doing. I'm explaining what it is, and then if you are interested, you need to get that book, pretty much. I wonder if you can get it online, so you didn't have to, like, have a book. Just trying to find the middle point of that here. Of course, I'm not very good at this still, but I feel like I can at least sort of have something work out, you know? Kind of just sketching this because we don't have time to do a lot of work. Well, a lot of drawing. The wheel would be, this would be the middle of the wheel. So actually, I can actually show it here. So I want the middle of the wheel to be here, and I want the bottom to kind of go down to this line here. I ever use that line, but that can be this line instead, it's fine. And then I would make a pretty square box around that. But do you guys understand now why I don't want to do tutorials for YouTube? There's a reason. So I will do a box, and then I will do a circle inside the box, and then I can do another one. You could usually make this more proper, but I'm placing. And then the same here, so the middle of the box would be here. And then the outer of the box, this would be, it's way too big, the wheels. And the second box, and then the circle. Anyway, it's a way to build it up. The legs are way too long. Here. Let's put them here. Yeah, that will be better, I think. It's in the middle. I'm just going to do this freehand now because I feel like I'm better at a freehand. Here. There you go. Of course, he would clean it up and do a better job, but for me right now, the goal is just to make it look okay, passable. It's a 3D tractor in the 3D space, you know? That's just my goal right now. But if you were doing a client thing, at least you could get something that was at least a little bit okay. Well, at least the sketch. The big wheels are really big, around here. Goes up here, it's really wide. The perspective is more front than I've done here, so I'm going to change that. Anyway, there's a lot more going into this than what I'm doing right now. I'm very much freehanding it because that's what I'm comfortable with. And I don't stress too much about making it perfect. But as you can see, like, I would not have been able to do this before I went through all those steps to kind of to learn how to do this. There you go. These wheels are the ones that are wonky, really. I think if I didn't have perspective lens, I'd probably do it a lot better. So that's my sketch. That's pretty much what the draw-through method is. It's about drawing through things. So you would draw through it and you would figure out where all the boxes are, and when you do things that way, when you break it down into shapes and boxes, it becomes easier. As I said, like, going through all the steps, starting from like scratch and then learning how to do everything is really what's needed to be confident with it. I don't think I would have been able to do it otherwise. Anyway, I wonder if I can do this and then do just a pass. I know I've added this just out of my own free will, but I feel like it needed something. Anyway, I'll leave it at this, I think. And then we'll do the dragonfly as well, because that's more fun, it's more organic. But it works the same way, you can figure out where the legs would stand and all that fun stuff. I think it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Let's do the dragonfly. And as you can see, the dragonfly is in a very different position. I'm gonna make it go a little bit more sideways. This is like where this is the box that will decide everything. And the same thing with this box. You do 2 boxes. Like so. We can cut this here so that I can move it. These boxes decides everything because you have this perspective line and this perspective line. And then you can start building on it. You put in boxes. So I'm gonna put in the box for the head, which is really big. So I can see that this line's going here, this line going here. I can feel like this line is going to be about there, and then this line's about here. Probably not gonna make the head this big, but and then this line goes here. And then same with the box on the top. I'm making him very big for some reason. It's a bit smaller. This is the middle of this. This is the middle of this. Stops about the same place. Box here. And then that kind of just the same shape as the tractor actually. Which is interesting. I'll do a line like that. I need to scale this down or else I'm gonna run out of space very quickly. So I made the box. I'm kind of drawing through. You need this draw through actually now because you want to get the lines and everything. You want to see where everything is. And then the legs goes from like this area here, goes outwards. That's about here, outwards. We can do that there. Then we can go inwards a bit. This is very rough, so that's there, and then like so. And the other legs goes backwards. And you would measure this by lines and figure out where that would be equivalent on the other side. I feel so sorry about making this a tutorial. Anyway, too late for that now. I'm gonna make a circle because that's where I want the legs to be. Back here, down that way, down that way. Like so, and then his little nose thing. I actually don't really know how to draw dragonflies, but I will do my best. So I feel like this is such a step-by-step thing. You need to go through all the steps to be able to understand and use everything that I'm talking about, and I can't really show it properly. But I think maybe this has helped me draw animals anyway, so it might be interesting for you guys. Don't know what the front looks like. The wings, I would probably do the same kind of box thing, so it goes from up there, perspective's there. Now the box goes here, so this is the box, and this is the box. So his wings is very flat. We can point them up a bit, but that will make a different perspective again. As you can see, those would be boxes too. Anyway, this is easier to do with tractors and cars to begin with. I think this is mostly meant for that stuff anyway. But for me, learning this really helped me be more confident when I was drawing rooms, as I said. Like, if I had a room here, I would actually make a block up in SketchUp for the room, but whenever I put stuff in here, I wouldn't do perspective lines for all of them. I would just know kind of where to put the perspective line. And I think when you are too careful with your perspective lines kind of matching and going the same way and like touching over there and touching over there, like if you know proper perspective, that's how you learn it, right? You make a line, you make a dot, you make a dot, you make the lines cross. But that can make it look really rigid and not feel right, because yes, that's how the world works, but if you have like, how can I show this? If you have this here going like that, and then you have this here going like that, that's different perspectives for both of them. So you would just have to learn how to make it look right. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. And I don't really know how to explain it. But I hope somehow I showed you guys what it is, what the draw-through method is, and how it works. The kind of summary of what you would learn. The summary of what you would learn if you would go through the whole course of that book. Anyway, I keep mentioning that book, but it's really going to save you a lot of money because you wouldn't have to go to FCD and you would just learn it. And it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it if you want to be more confident. If you want to be more confident anyway, try drawing things in perspective without using a ruler. Like practice straight lines, practice drawing boxes in perspective. That could be today's homework. Just draw boxes in perspective and draw things within the boxes and analyze things to be boxes to see if you can understand things better and putting it in perspective. And I think that could help people, really. I'm gonna end this tutorial here because I don't really know what more to say other than I hope you maybe learned something that you didn't know. Like you learned how to do certain things that you didn't know how to do before, or you just now know what this method is. If anyone says that, like that specific method, like if I mention it in one of my videos, you know what it is. And I think that's the point of this video, which is really weird. Anyway, if there was any suggestions on the previous poll for this tutorial that you wanted to get selected but didn't get selected, you can request that again under this post, and I will put that in the next poll, which I will put up in a few days. And then we'll just keep going. So whenever I didn't do something that you really wanted, you can request that again and I will do it. Well, I will put it up on the poll, and then if people want it, we'll do that, and so on, and so on. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I am working really hard and trying to get things ready for the Snowcat Prince Kickstarter, and that's kind of where my focus is. So if I'm a little bit everywhere, please excuse me. And I'll try getting up a sketchbook kind of tour thing for you guys as well, because I have a few sketches that I haven't showed anyone. And yeah, I'll be on Discord if you want to chat. And please sign up for Discord if you haven't already. That's where all the fun is. That's where we are. That's where the community is. And not on the community tab on Patreon. You have to do the Discord thing, and I promise you it'll be worth it if it's just for Discord. I'll put a link down below for you guys to figure out how to connect the two anyway. And yeah, that's it for this Learn With Me. Thank you guys so much for being patrons. You really support me. I can't believe we're almost at 4K. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to send out the Magic Hat tier packages next week, so stay tuned for that. And yeah. Bye.